Well, my pretties, it's the Queen of Lions here again, and welcome to episode 160 of Shadows and Pretties. So, now the last episode I did was the Prince of Egypt, and to keep up with the Egypt theme, I decided to go ahead and review this one movie called The Mummy. Now, this is not the 1932 version of it, but we're going to review the 1999 movie called The Mummy. Now, this was written by Stephen Finn Sommers. It is a remake of the 1932 film of the same name. Now, this one has stars Brandon Fraser, but it also starred a bunch of other for people such as Rachel Wiz, John Hannah, Kevin J. O'Connor, and basically this movie took years with multiple screenplays that the director attached in 1997. So, I guess with that being said, it was theatrically released on May 7th, 1999. It was a pretty good success and a really good movie. So, of course, there is basically two sequels called The Mummy Returns, The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Empire, and of course there is a prequel to the movie called The Scorpion King, which I do plan to review those movies in the future. But today I'm just going to talk about the first movie because there's a lot I gotta say. I remember watching this movie on DVD. I have the DVD of the first movie as well as The Mummy Returns and The Scorpion King. Of course, there is a remake of The Mummy that has Tom Cruise that was made in 2017, which I could definitely, I'll take a look through it because I've not seen it, but I heard a lot of people really don't like the 2017 remake of it. I personally have never seen it, but to be completely fair and completely honest, the remake of this movie is kind of not really it's kind of not really, the best remake, but I definitely would have to say about the remake. It's kind of almost trying to follow the same as the original 1999 one, but yeah, I heard a lot of people don't like that one, but I'll review the 2017 remake whenever I have the chance to see it. But since I have not seen it yet, I only saw bits of, like trailers of it. Let's get on with the review of the 1999 movie. So this takes place in the Thebes of Egypt in 1290 BC. Highest Princess Imhotep has an affair with Anaxamanona, the mistress of the pharaoh Seti. Imhotep and Anaxamanamam kills the pharaoh after he discovers their relationship. Motep frees, and the wife ends up taking her own life, believing that Motep can resurrect her. So Motep Hep, and his priests steal her corpse and travel to the city of the dead, where the resurrection ritual begins. However, it is stopped by the pharaoh's bodyguards, the Magi, or Meja. And Motep was buried alive with flesh-eating scarabeetles and locked in a sarcophagus and the feet of the statue of the Egyptian god, the Anubis. Now, the Magi are sworn to prevent Motep's return by burying him in the sarcophagus. So then, fast forward to 1926 in AD, Jonathan Van Carhanen presents his sister Evelyn, the librarian, as an aspiring Egyptologist, with an engraved box with a map that led to Hanotopria. Yeah, I can't pronounce these Egyptian, names, cities and that very well, so I do apologize for it. Because also it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I watched it like when I was a kid. I was never scared of this movie for some reason. I never was scared of this movie or anything, not even one bit when I first saw it. So Jonathan reveals that he stole the box from an American adventurer, Rick O'Connell, who discovers the city while in the French Foraging Legion. Evelyn and Jonathan find Rick and make a deal to lead him to the city. So while Rick guides Evelyn and her party to the city, encountering a band of American treasure hunters led by Rick's cowardly acquaintances, Benny Garber, despite being warned to leave by Ardrev Bey, the leader of Magi, the two expeditions continue their extravagance. So Evelyn searches for the book of the Amun Ra, made of pure gold. Instead of finding the book, she stumbles upon Motep's remains, and the team of Americans meanwhile discover that the Black Book of the Dead is accompanied by the cannibalistic jars carrying Anaxaron's preserved organs. So at night, Evelyn reads the book from the dead out loud, accidentally waking up Motep. Well, Himhotep. Oh yeah, that's what his name is. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this movie. I haven't seen this movie in years, actually, and I gotta really watch this movie. It's gonna have to take a ride on the nostalgia train to go back to 1999, because that's when the movie came out. Well, I mean, I was only a baby when this movie came out, so I didn't know about this until mid early 2000s. The expeditions return to Cairo, and Himhotep follows them with the help of Beni, who has agreed to serve him. Himhotep regenerates a full strength on killing the members of the American expedition and brings back 10 plagues back to Egypt. Rick, Evelyn, and Jonathan meet Adref in the museum, and Adref hypnotizes that Himhotep wants to resurrect, but Anakusmanimnum by sacrificing Evelyn. Evelyn believes that the Book of the Dead brought Imhotep back to life, and the Book of the Armaton can kill him again and reduces the book's whereabouts. Imhotep then corners the group with an army of slaves, and Evelyn agrees to accompany Imhotep if he spares the rest of the group. Although Imhotep does not honor his word, Rick and the others fight their way to safety. Imhotep, Evelyn, and Beni eventually return to Hamonatra, pursued by Rick, Jonathan, and Adref, who are able to locate the book of the Amon-Ra. Imhotep prepares to sacrifice Evelyn, but she is rescued after a battle with Imhotep's mummified priests. Evelyn reads the book of the Amon-Ra, making Imhotep mortal, and that he gets fatality wounded by Rick. Beni eventually accidentally sets off a booby trap while looking at the city riches. He gets killed by a swarm of flesh-eating scarabs, and Hemotapra collapses into the sand. Edreif bids Rick and Evelyn and Jonathan goodbye, and the two rides away on their camels laden with Beni's treasure, and thus how the movie ends. This honestly was a really great story, I'm not gonna lie. This story was flat out amazing. I really enjoyed how well made this movie is. Now, Brendan Fraser, he's been in other movies as well besides The Mummy. I know for a fact that he was in the sequel called The Mummy Returns. That's another one that I do remember he was in, as well as The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, Journey to the Center of the Earth. I believe that was another one, but I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched more of his movies, but I definitely would have to say, I mean, he was in the Nut Job movie that came out in 2014, but he was also in a lot of other movies, and he was in a couple of TV shows as well. So, anyways, I think the casting did a great job. I do like the characters, and I do like how well made that the movie has to portray, especially with the Egyptian theme. Like, I definitely would have to say the characters of the movie did pretty good. Now, of course, they wanted to do like the remake of The Mummy, I believe. They came up with the idea from the 1980s or something like that. So, yeah, the filming began sometime in May 4th, 1998, and lasted for about 17 weeks, although the crew could not shoot in Egypt because of the unstable political conditions. So, principal photography began in Morocco. Monarchy had the extra advantage of being less a modern city than Cairo, making it easier and dressed like the 1920s. So, as like 17 weeks to shoot a movie. I mean, you know, no, after shooting, they also shoot in North America at one point, and then they moved it back to the United Kingdom before the completion of the shooting on August 29th, 1998, where the dockyards of at Chatham doubled for for the Giza, which is port on the Nile River. And yeah, I mean, the special effects of this movie was pretty good. I do like how well the mummy, or you know, Imhotep mummy version of him, looks like. He looks like, I like the visual effects. I like the pretty good makeup and costumes and all that. I mean, if you watch The Mummy, you probably know how well made this movie is. And I'm gonna say right now, this one was on VHS at one point, but I don't have the VHS. I have the DVD at one point. I don't know where it is, but it's hidden in my house somewhere. Of course, there are sequels and spin-offs such as The Mummy Returns that came out in 2001, and of course, we have the Scorpion King movie, which is the prequel to the Mummy series, as well as the Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. So, there's also a there's also the Mummy from 2017, that remake of it. So, pardon me about that. Now, I have to say, I have not watched the original Mummy movie in like a really long time. So, my memory is pretty fuzzy when it comes to certain, movies, especially ones I haven't seen in years. But I definitely gotta say, it's a great movie. And if you like Egypt, and if you want to find good movies, or if you want to see what movie is the best one to see, then feel free to, well, check out this movie. And I recommend you do watch it if you're into Egypt stuff or Brendan Fraser, whatever, because you will not be disappointed once you've seen this movie. And like I've said, I'm not sure if I will do the review on the 2017 version of it, because I've not seen the remake of it, so I can't really state my opinion on that one unless I see it. But with all due honesty, it's a great movie. I recommend you check it out. And yeah, I believe if you think this movie is good, since I'm saying it's good, well, I have a feeling you'll enjoy this movie. But like I said before, this is just my own opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that is perfectly okay. I am respectful to your own opinion. Like, if you don't like the movie, that's understandable. If you like it, that's fine. I respect your opinion entirely. So, with that being the case, what did you guys think about this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make the movie a lot better. Feel free to leave me what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to this channel, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notification to when I upload. And as always, I'll see you in the next upload. Peace out, and I'll see you all next time.